And a big welcome back to the Ask Coach Fillnow show alongside Kelly Fillnow. I'm Dave Erickson, and today's topic has to do with off-season training, basically taking a break from the long year of racing and training for whatever endurance event you're looking at, whether it's marathons, Ironmans, or whatever. So, Kelly, you have some ideas on how we can add some variety and keep it fresh in the off-season.
Absolutely. And I think after a long season, I think it's important to have a transitional period after you finish the season. And I think that starts with focusing on just exercising and not training. And there's a big difference between exercising and training. And, you know, doing things different and unique that you're not used to doing. So, say on a typical Saturday, you go out with the boys and you ride 4 hours. Well, maybe changing it up and having a pancake breakfast with your family and doing a morning activity with them, and then going on a nice 4 hour hike with the entire family. So doing something different. You're getting great exercise in and great strength in that 4 hour hike, but you're including your family and you're changing it up a little bit too. And diversity is super important when you're in that transitional period. So, maybe try something like a boot camp class or playing tennis and or jump roping, something that you're not used to doing, and your body will like that change. But and then after you go through that transitional period, it's good to focus on your limiters. So, say you have a swim limiter or run limiter, do a swim block or a run block, so you're more focused on just that one sport. And sure, still do other sports as well, but definitely focus on your weakness too.
So if you're dominantly a triathlete, do you suggest maybe putting the triathlon sports on the back burner or a secondary in the off season and maybe try something that's not triathlon related at all?
Yeah, I say for the beginning of so once you finish your season, I think it's important to have a good 6 week block of a little bit more recovery for not only your mind, but your body, because your body's been through so much damage over the intense training. And, instead of getting up at 4:30 a.m. to get your 3 hour workout in, just sleep in a little bit and maybe focus on doing one workout a day. And then in that transitional period, that's when you can implement different activities, whether or not it's meeting friends that aren't triathletes or marathon runners for a boot camp class at the gym, and you're getting so much exercise, so much different kind of exercise and benefits from that. But it's just giving your body a break from swim, bike, run on a daily basis. And then once that period's done, I think more specificity is good, and back to your typical swimming, biking, and running, but just not the long endurance days that you're typically used to. And, just implementing a little bit more, maybe speed bursts and more strength training. And I think your body will appreciate just the diversity in the training too.
So you said take maybe 6 weeks off after the season is over. Now, generally speaking, it depends on the level of athlete or triathlete or endurance athlete. We're probably training, 12, 15, 20 hours a week. Are we cutting that into a third? So instead of our 3 hour workout a day, maybe we're only doing an hour? Or what would you suggest as the percentage of breakdown from our current workload?
Yeah, and I think that's a great question. I think a lot of times this is the hardest part of the season for type A endurance athletes, but it's so crucial because you don't want to be a world champion in January. You want to make sure you are feeling refreshed when you get started back with your more of your specificity. So I definitely think lowering your training volume is super important, because then you can focus more on sleeping a little bit extra, and then getting brownie points with your family too. And maybe your wife likes to work out, but she's always sacrificing during the year because of the kids in the morning. So maybe giving her the your favorite morning hour, and then figuring out another time during the day to get your workout in. But yeah, instead of doing double or triple workouts, maybe just one sport a day, and that's still getting you some good training in, but it's also providing a little bit more of a break.
Pull the curtain back a little bit on the pro triathlete lifestyle like yours. What kind of break are you having, and what are some of the non triathlon activities that you're doing this off season?
Well, actually, I'm speaking exactly what I've been doing, because Wednesday I just did a swim workout, and then yesterday I just did a run, and then today I just biked. So I'm actually doing one sport a day instead of typically 2 to 3.
And how long are you currently in your off season?
I am probably in my off season right now. Still, last minute, you always make a decision. But yeah, I mean, the way I'm training right now, it's more off season.
Now, as a professional triathlete, what is the for the people who are concerned out there? Boy, I've worked out all season long, last 6 to 8 months, and I've got all this great fitness. I'm afraid if I take 6 weeks off, I'm going to lose all this great fitness that I've worked at so hard to get. What are the challenges of getting that back? How easily can we get it back? Can we get it back after taking a month and a half off?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And typically, you will lose fitness without a doubt. But because you've already built your fitness to a certain point, it will be much easier to get back to where you once were. And one of my friends, actually, Gwen, she's one of the best triathletes in the world. Last year, she took 2 weeks off of zero exercise. And then the next 2 weeks, she did 20 minutes of exercise a day. And that she had a spectacular season. So I mean, it's definitely something that is really hard to do in the moment because you're afraid to lose all this fitness. But long term, like, you're setting yourself up for an even more successful season when you're not experiencing. I mean, if you don't take an off season, then you're going to probably be burnt out when it comes time for your A race, and your performance won't be there. So I think it's important to really just have a coach or someone give you direction and tell you, like, okay, less is best at this point. And my sister did a clinic the other week talking about off season, and it was amazing to hear how everyone was so shocked at what you should be doing in an off season, because everyone's like, oh, we must continue to push hard. But really, if you want to have long-term success in marathoning or Ironman, triathlon, whatever it is, just periodizing the year and making sure your body's resting is important.
It seems to have worked out for your friend Gwen.
Yes, it definitely did.
Hey, you can learn more about Kelly and what she does on a regular basis at fillnowcoaching.com. If you have a question for Kelly, use the hashtag AskCoachPhilNow on Twitter, Facebook, or on YouTube. Thanks a lot, Kelly. Have a great one.
Thank you.